Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams reuniting in New York over. Before it even began, Davante Adams' agents respond to the speculation, but did they leave the door open? J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets! We got a little trade drama llama news. Not really news, but trade drama llama stuff that the Jets are always involved in. Davante Adams, rumors speculating that him and Aaron Rodgers are going to reunite in New York this year, and his agents have responded. I want to go into it, but before I do, I want to remind you we do have our ticket group by Jets Broncos week 4 of the NFL season. If you guys want to get in on that, link in the description down below. But let's move on to it. This is the statement released by his agents, or I guess through Adam Schefter, about this whole stuff. Statement from Davante Adams' agents Kenny Chapman and Frank Bauer regarding the recent trade talks surrounding their client. This is baseless, unfounded speculation, and Davante is expected to be with the Raiders as there has been absolutely no trade talk, period. Ooh, man, it just crushes me. It shuts down all the hope I had, only it doesn't, because it doesn't say he wants to be a Las Vegas Raider, which your representation would clearly say if they wanted to shoot down all possible speculation. He's expected to be a Raider because he is currently under contract with the Raiders. That is the only reason for that release, I think. I think that is a telegraph signal that at least says Davante's open to it. The team hasn't approached us about trade talks or anything like that. That doesn't mean the Jets haven't inquired. I think that's entirely possible. And the Raiders just may not have, brought it to the attention. We heard rumors at the end, middle of last year before McDaniels was fired, that Adams and the Jets, or at least the Raiders and the Jets, were kind of communicating, trying to figure out if Adams could be brought to New York. There was speculation back, I think, in August or July of last year. So this is something that it just sort of seems like a foregone conclusion. I played all the clips in the video that I released yesterday, so you guys can take a look at that if you really want to go back and see some of the history there. But this just makes a crazy ton of sense. And I was talking to a few fans about the salary cap implications, because I think a lot of people are really spooked by the cap numbers that Davante has right now while he's on the Raiders. But what you really got to understand is that signing bonus portion that we talked about yesterday does not move over if he is traded. Now, what is do the Jets have room for this? Right now, we got about $6 million in salary cap space, but we still have to re-sign, or actually sign Corley. I don't think Corley has signed. Have I missed that? I've been gone for like a month. I have no idea. So he's going to eat into a little bit of that. But I've been speculating that I think Davante Adams gets moved towards the trade deadline, because I don't think the Raiders are just going to give up on their season right at the beginning there. And if that's the case, it's going to be basically $8 million, $8.5 million for a half a season of Davante Adams for this year, because the 2025 portion of his contract balloons up to like $35 million, and no one's paying Davante Adams $35 million right now. It's just not happening. Jets aren't going to be able to do it. Raiders aren't going to be able to do it, which means they're going to have to go to him and say, hey, we need you to renegotiate your contract so we can keep you for the next few years. And he's going to say, well, I don't want to do that. I want $35 million, or I'm going to pick my new team. So the Raiders are going to end up having to cut him if they don't trade him for this year. So they're either going to play him out in a year that may not be that great. They're underdogs in a lot of games at the beginning part of the season. So I stand by the fact that I think Davante, I should stand by the fact, it's not a fact, stand by my stance that Davante Adams is going to be traded this year. And I think it only makes sense that he winds up with the New York Jets. I mean, outside of like some reunion with him and Derek Carr in New Orleans, which I haven't really heard a crazy ton of speculation about, but I think him coming to New York just makes a bunch of sense, because we are going to give, I think, the most for him. And if it were me, I would give up let's call it a second round pick that can escalate to a first round pick, provided that the Jets make the playoffs. And if you do it in season during, like, around the trade deadline, you at least get the option to see how your team is currently doing. And it tells you just how desperate you may need to be. Maybe Mike Williams is hurt and you're like, okay, we got to give up the first right now. Or maybe you decide, hey, we're doing so well, we don't care about giving up the first round pick. Or the Raiders are so bad and no one, I guess someone would other trade for him. It's going to cost us at least a second round pick. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I think if you're a good team, I'm willing to give up the first round pick, provided that it's on the condition that we make the playoffs. So I do think this is going to happen. I'm not overly concerned about what his agents are saying right now. Sure, does it say the Raiders have not approached him? That's probably what has been said as far as trade talks. But I would think with Aaron Rodgers wanting his buddy to play with him, they've said it a bunch of times throughout the course of last season, I would be shocked if the Jets hadn't at least inquired with the Raiders, and even if it's not getting to Davante Adams right now, or he's just saying, I don't know. I feel like the whole is expected to be a Raider is just like a dog whistle for, hey, come and get me. Bring me to New York. I want to win a Super Bowl before it's all done. And the Jets are the team that can make it happen. If the Jets wind up having Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson, and Mike Williams, and then Lazard is your 4, maybe not even be your 4. He might be your 5 with Corley. And then you have Breece Hall and Conklin, who are both going to be getting touches ahead of Lazard anyway. So like this, we just have such a friggin' awesome wide receiver unit and weapon unit. And I'm just all excited. And I just want it to happen. And I don't want to be crushed by any of you guys that are saying it's not going to happen and the Jets aren't going to pay all that money. And I say, we've got 2 years of Aaron Rodgers, most likely. We've waited 50 years for a quarterback. I am okay going all in right now while we have the quarterback in the best shot possible and be damned with the future because the cap is all just games and everything anyway. I'm convinced the salary cap is just a myth. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you guys want Davante Adams? Do you think this comment by his agents is factual? Do you think it means there is no trade happening? Do you think it's a little bit of, hey, come and get me? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets. Jets!